Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be opening two ST13 one-piece decks. So these are identical minus the 3 packs that are inside that we're also going to open in this video. So I'm not going to showcase every single card of them, but we're going to go over this starter deck and yeah, see what's in it. Most of you may have already seen the Japanese or Asian versions of these decks that were already out. For us in Europe, this arrived a few days ago. My local shop had a little bit of a stock issue, so they were a bit late. So as of today, 25th of March, I was finally able to, 25th of April, I was finally able to actually pick mine up. I pre-ordered two. Sorry about that, probably was a bit too loud for the camera. So I pre-ordered two of these decks because in general, that's what I do for almost every single one-piece deck. And the reason behind it is that, well, some of the cards, usually the best cards in the deck, are only included as 2 copies. So you need 2 decks to have 4 copies. So this is what you get inside of the deck. You get the 3 cards per pack bonus pack booster with alt art cards from within this within this deck. A deck box with a card divider. That's what it looks like. What the art is on it. 3 brothers on each side. 1 piece on the back. And the deck itself. So I'm quickly going to open the other one as well, so I can put both of these packs here, and we're going to open them at the end, and then we're going to go over the deck itself. So we already know how this deck is going to play out for the most part, because as I said, it's available in the OCG in Japan, and actually, it seems quite promising. The Luffy deck is actually pretty solid, black-yellow Luffy. And the Ace and Sabo decks are also, they're showing some placement, although they're significantly less played than the Luffy one. So I'm actually genuinely curious how they proceed in the future. And I think that this is a small upgrade versus how the 3 captains deck was. For those of you who don't know, the 3 captains deck had the 3 captains, Law, Kid, and Luffy, the 3 supernova captains, and it was red and purple. All 3 of the heroes, all 3 of the leaders were red and purple. Meanwhile, in this deck we have Sabo, which is red and yellow, Ace, which is blue and yellow, and Luffy, which is black and yellow. And as you can see, based on the fact that there are 3 different colors here, black, blue, and red, that means that the cards within this deck are all gonna be yellow. The previous deck was, as I said, in all 3 of the leaders red and purple, which made the cards not completely synergistic for all versions of them. The deck was still really good. It contained some much needed reprints in it, and it is how I got into this game. That was my first deck that I bought for this game, but it very much lacked when it comes to upgrading, because you had to change, well, a lot. With these decks, you basically have the yellow base for the decks, and then you need the red, the blue, and the black card for whatever version you want to play. So these are the leaders themselves. I'm not gonna go into detail as to what they do, how they may play out and all. We'll leave this for separate videos. In fact, I will have a video on each of these 3 leaders and deck build for them. So stay tuned for that. First, we're gonna go with Luffy because the Luffy deck is actually good, and then maybe some speculation and some builds being shown for Ace and Sabo. But yes, here's a bit better look on the leaders themselves. And Sabo. They're all 4 life, and that's all we're gonna say about them for now. Now on the cards themselves, first we have 5 cost Sabo. 5-cost Ace, 5-cost Luffy, and a 1-cost Garp, who is basically the searcher for all three of them. Then I'm gonna skip through the cards to show you how this all plays out quickly. Then we have the 2-cost version of all of them. Let's move Garp aside. We have 2-cost Sabo, 2-cost Ace, and 2-cost Luffy, which basically work in a very similar way to how Rage works with all the Windsmoke family guys being able to summon each other. So this is not exactly the same, but it's the same principle: 2-cost, 5-cost, and you work them out. Then we have some supporting characters. So we have Ivankov, we have Whitebeard, we have Curly the Nun, 7-cost Shanks, Makino, and Rush Yamato, which has 4,000 for whatever reason. This card could have been actually good if it was 5,000. I know it's played in some of the decks, but I mean, I just think it could have been a tiny bit better if it was a 5,000 card. And that's when it comes to all the characters. So the 2-cost, the 5-costs, the Garp Searcher, and some of the supporting cast of the Three Brothers Adventure. We have a few events as well. I'm not going to go again over them now. There will be a follow-up video with all three of the decks being explained. So we have one event that is Searcher, and then the other events are your standard stuff like counters and all. And that's what's all included in this starter deck. You will need 2 copies of this deck if you want to play anything significant, simply because the main cards of this deck, the Searcher Garp and the 5-costs, are well, only 2 offs in this deck. And last note before I actually go to the pack opening, this is gonna be a bit shorter video, guys, because I'm already late on the whole, oh, this deck is still new. There's the Shiny Dawn as well, included in both of these 3 brothers and the 3 captains deck. So as a final bonus thing about the whole 2-cost and 5-cost cards, actually the Black Sabo from OP04, which is also 5-cost, is also summonable via the little 2-cost Sabo as well, because it says that specifically 5-cost Sabo needs to be the target. So for those who didn't know, yes, if you have a OP04 Sabo, you can play it in yellow-black Luffy, actually. So now the main thing, what are we gonna get as alt arts from these 2 packs? They have 3 cards each, and every single card can be an alt art. I believe every single card. I'm not sure about the events actually, but let's go ahead and see what are we gonna get. I personally hope to get the leaders, but well, that's already not one of the leaders. We have Ivankov, we have Whitebeard, and we have 5-cost Ace. So the first deck had 0 leaders in it. So technically, if you get lucky and pull up 5-cost like this, with only 1 deck, you may have enough 5-cost to play. But in general, for most parts, you will need 2 copies of this deck to be able to play, well, any of the versions of the brothers, I believe. And, oh, looks like we have a leader here. We can see by the red background. Which one is it? We have 2-cost Luffy, 2-cost Sabo, and Ace leader. Out of the 3 brothers, Ace is actually my favorite character, so I'm happy to get Ace as the alternate leader. Although, to be completely honest with you, the regular since it looks identical, it's just black and white versus, you know, this. I'm not sure if I would actually play with the alt art. Like, the original looks pretty good on its own as well. But, yes, so we got 5-cost ace, we got alt art ace, we got the 2 small brothers. Actually, they're not visible there. Let's put them here. And Whitebeard and Ivankov. I actually think I kind of like how the 2-cost characters look when they're young on the alt arts. I may actually go for a playset of these, if they're reasonably priced, obviously. But yes, so that's the video, guys. Stay tuned. In the upcoming few weeks, I'll be posting videos on each of these decks, starting with Luffy. That's all for me. Bye.